Who could have imagined that after all the heartbreak, loss, and endless struggles, Amy Fleming would one day find herself walking down the aisle again? But just when it feels like life has finally given her a second chance, a shadow from the past threatens to rewrite everything. This isn't just a love story, it's a storm waiting to break. And Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, doesn't just begin with romance. It begins with a secret, one that could change everything. The morning air in Hudson carries a strange mix of serenity and tension. The sun rises gently over Heartland Ranch, casting golden light across the stables, the fields, and Amy's face as she stands alone, brushing Spartan. There's peace in the moment, but also a silent war in her eyes. It's her wedding day, the day she never thought would come again after losing Ty. Yet here it is, and while everything around her seems perfect, there's a quiet storm brewing inside her heart. Amy and Nathan met during a horse therapy fundraiser in Calgary, his calm, grounded nature offering a kind of stillness Amy had long forgotten. Over time, Nathan became more than just a comfort. He became a new chapter. He wasn't Ty, and he never tried to be. He brought his own warmth, his own wounds, and his own way of seeing Amy. He loved her for who she had become, strong, scarred, but still full of light. And today, they were supposed to promise forever. Inside the house, Lou is frantic, trying to keep everything running smoothly. The flowers have arrived late, the photographer canceled last minute, and Katie can't find her shoes. Yet Lou knows, more than anyone, that these small disasters don't compare to what Amy's truly dealing with. Because yesterday, just yesterday, an envelope arrived at the ranch. No return address, no explanation, just one photograph inside. A picture of Ty alive. Amy hasn't told anyone, not Lou, not Jack, not even Nathan. The timing couldn't be worse. Her heart races every time she reopens the envelope. Could it be a cruel joke, a hallucination, or worse? The truth? Her instincts as a horse whisperer have always told her when something's off, and right now, her gut is screaming. But the ranch is full of guests now. Friends, neighbors, even reporters who caught wind of Hudson's favorite horse trainer finding love again. Nathan, handsome in a classic black suit, smiles as he greets guests near the barn, unaware that the woman he's about to marry is standing in the loft, staring at a photograph that could destroy everything. Meanwhile, Jack sits silently at the kitchen table, sipping his coffee slower than usual. He's been watching Amy all morning. He knows that look in her eyes. It's the same one Marion had when she was hiding something painful. He doesn't say anything, but Jack's mind is racing. He trusts Amy, but he also knows that love makes people do foolish things. As Amy walks back toward the house, she slips the photo into her dress pocket, forcing a smile as she's greeted by Lisa, who's beaming with excitement. The ceremony is just hours away. Everything is set, but Amy's mind is a battlefield. One part of her wants to let go, to move on, to step into the future with Nathan. Another part is stuck in the past, clinging to a ghost she thought she had finally buried. Then, just as she's about to step inside, her phone buzzes. An unknown number, just a single text message. Meet me at the old trail. Noon. Come alone. T. Her hands tremble. Time freezes. It can't be. It shouldn't be. But if there's even the smallest chance... Amy knows she has to go. She looks toward the crowd gathering near the ceremony space, then at her watch. She has exactly 1 hour before the wedding begins. The calm is over. The storm has begun. Amy's boots press into the earth with every step, the trail beneath her feet both familiar and haunting. The old path, once a place of peace, rides with Ty, memories tucked beneath trees and horse tracks, now feels like a tunnel pulling her into the unknown. The message said noon, and as the sun inches higher in the sky, each passing minute feels like a countdown to something she can't name. She's supposed to be getting ready, standing in front of a mirror, adjusting her dress, preparing her vows. Instead, she's here, drawn by a whisper from the past that refuses to stay silent. She walks alone, just like the message asked. No guards, no calls, no questions. Her heart pounds, not just from fear, but from something more dangerous. Hope. What if it's true? What if Ty... She doesn't dare say it aloud. Up ahead, the trees part slightly, revealing the old log where she and Ty once carved their initials. Her breath catches. Someone is there, hooded, still, not moving. Amy freezes, the world spinning around her. Ty, she whispers, the name leaving her lips like a prayer. But the man doesn't speak. Instead, he drops something on the ground, a black notebook. Then, without lifting his head, he turns and walks away, disappearing between the trees before Amy can move or scream or chase. She runs forward, heart thudding, and picks up the notebook. It's worn, leather-bound, stained with water and time. Inside, the pages are filled with shaky handwriting. Her fingers tremble as she flips through them. The first page reads, "I don't know if I'll ever make it back, but if you're reading this, I need you to know I never left you by choice." Tears fill her eyes. Page after page, it's a story of survival, captivity, and escape. Someone has been documenting months, maybe years, of movement, hiding, and watching from afar. Every few pages, there's a drawing. Spartan, Lindy, Amy, and then a note that hits her like a punch. "You're safer without me, but they're watching you now. If you marry him, they'll come for you both." Amy stumbles back, gripping the journal to her chest. None of this makes sense. Who are they? What is this warning? And why now, on the day of her wedding? Her phone buzzes again. Another unknown message. "He's not who he says he is. Leave now, while you still can." This time, fear cuts deeper than before. Could it be about Nathan, the man who stood by her, held her hand, helped raise Lindy like his own? Is it possible that his kindness was just a mask? Amy rushes back toward the ranch, every step tangled in questions. When she arrives, Lou is pacing the porch, phone to her ear, panic all over her face. "Where were you? You can't just disappear like that. Nathan's asking for you. He's worried sick." Amy doesn't answer. She clutches the journal tighter and looks past Lou toward the barn. Nathan is there talking to Jack, calm, smiling, just like always. Nothing seems off. But now Amy can't stop seeing shadows. She walks past everyone, straight to her room, locking the door behind her. She opens the journal again, scanning faster now, desperate for something, anything, that could tell her if this is real or just the cruel imagination of someone playing a sick game. Then she finds it. A picture, tucked between the pages. It's her and Ty. And Lindy, taken from a distance, one she's never seen before. Her blood runs cold. It's not an old memory. Lindy's age, her hair, her height, it's recent. Someone has been watching them. Amy sinks to the floor, breathing hard, the journal on her lap and her wedding dress hanging beside her. Everything is unsteady now. Her past is alive in ways she can't explain. Her future is clouded by fear, and the man waiting at the altar may not be the one she thought he was. Her door knocks. It's Lou. "Amy? 5 minutes." She looks at the mirror. The bride staring back isn't sure of anything anymore, except one thing. This wedding might not be the beginning. It might be the end. Amy stood at the edge of her room, staring into the mirror, but the reflection didn't feel like her own. The white dress she wore no longer symbolized hope. It felt like a costume, something borrowed to hide the storm inside her. Her heart was in chaos. The journal rested on her vanity, open to the page with the photograph, the one that had shattered her reality just moments ago. Every second ticked louder than the last, pressing her to make a decision she wasn't ready to face. Downstairs, the guests were taking their seats. The soft melody of the string quartet floated through the windows. Lou was helping Lindy with her flower crown. Jack was standing by the barn, watching the hills. And Nathan, he was waiting. But Amy couldn't move. The words in the journal haunted her. "If you marry him, they'll come for you both." It sounded like something out of a novel, not real life. Yet the details, the handwriting, the drawings, everything pointed to one terrifying truth. Someone knew her deeply. Someone had been close enough to observe, to remember, to sketch the curve of Spartan's neck and the sparkle in Lindy's eyes. Whoever wrote those pages hadn't just watched from afar, they had lived her life from the shadows. And the fact that it came with a warning about Nathan, that's what terrified her the most. Was it all a lie? Was Nathan hiding something? He had come into her life so gently, never pushing, always understanding. When others urged her to move on, he listened. When she broke down, he held her. He never asked for anything she wasn't ready to give. But now, every tender memory twisted in her mind like a knife. Was it all real, or had she been fooled by a mask so convincing even her instincts had failed her? There was a soft knock at her door. This time it wasn't Lou's voice. It was Nathan's. "Amy, are you okay? Everyone's ready. Take your time, but I just wanted you to know I'm here." His voice was calm, caring, just like always. But now Amy didn't know if it was a comfort or a threat. She said nothing, letting the silence speak for her. A few seconds passed, then his footsteps retreated down the hallway. She turned back to the journal, her eyes drawn to the final page. Scribbled at the bottom in rushed handwriting were the words, "He was never supposed to find you. Please trust your heart. You always knew the truth." Amy closed the book and sat on the edge of her bed, her breath shallow. She didn't know who to trust, not even herself. Her heart was torn between a love she lost and a love she might be losing for the wrong reasons. Suddenly, something caught her attention outside the window. A flash of movement, barely noticeable but enough to jolt her. She stood and stepped closer. By the far fence near the tree line, a figure stood watching. A man, dressed in a worn jacket, head covered, still. He didn't move. He didn't wave. He just stood there, as if waiting for her to see him. Her breath caught in her throat. She couldn't see his face clearly, but something about the way he stood, the shape of his shoulders, the weight of silence around him. Could it be Ty? Amy blinked, heart pounding, but when she looked again, the figure was gone, disappeared into the trees like a ghost. Her mind raced. Was it real? Was someone playing with her? Or had she just seen the man she once loved, standing at the edge of her new beginning? There was no time left to question it. Lou knocked again, more firmly this time. "Amy, you have to come down now." Amy looked around the room, her eyes resting on the dress, the journal, and finally, the photograph. She took a deep breath, stood tall, and opened the door. The hallway was quiet. Her footsteps echoed as she descended the stairs, each step heavier than the last. Outside, music swelled. Guests stood as the ceremony began. Nathan turned, his eyes lighting up as he saw her. But Amy's smile didn't reach her eyes, because in her chest, a storm still raged. She walked slowly down the aisle, her mind replaying every word in the journal, every message, every shadow. The question wasn't just whether she could trust Nathan. The real question was, who was watching her now? And would she make it through the ceremony before the truth finally exploded? The sun hung low over Heartland, casting long shadows across the field where rows of white chairs had been carefully arranged. The scent of wildflowers filled the air, mingling with anticipation. The guests, all familiar faces from years past, smiled warmly as Amy approached, her steps slow, her heart in turmoil. She walked not as a bride full of certainty, but as a woman haunted by a ghost who might not be dead, and a groom who might not be who he claimed to be. The journal pressed against her ribs beneath the folds of her dress, a weight heavier than anything she had ever carried. With each step, she wondered, was this a ceremony or a trap? Nathan stood beneath the arbor, dressed in a soft gray suit, eyes locked on Amy's. He smiled, that same comforting, steady smile he'd worn since the day they met. But now, Amy couldn't tell if it was genuine or practiced. As she reached the front, he reached for her hand. She placed hers in his, and the warmth of his touch sent a shiver down her spine. Not from love, but from doubt. The music faded. The officiant began to speak, words about love, union, and trust, but they blurred in Amy's ears. Her focus narrowed. Her instincts were screaming. Behind Nathan, Jack stood, hands folded, eyes sharp. He was watching Nathan too, more closely than usual. Lou was beside him, trying to hold back tears, unaware that Amy's heart was falling apart. Even Lisa, seated beside Tim, seemed to sense something was off. Then, a sound. Soft, quick, barely audible over the rustling trees. A distant click, like the shutter of a camera. Amy's head turned. No one else noticed. But she did. Someone was there. Watching. The officiant continued, now approaching the moment of vows. Nathan turned to Amy, gently lifting her hand. "Amy," he said, "you've brought light into my life after darkness. I never imagined I'd get to stand here with you, to love you, to be part of your world. I vow to protect you, to cherish you, and to always tell you the truth. Amy's breath caught. The truth. That word, so simple, so powerful, felt like a knife, because she didn't know what the truth was anymore. Her fingers trembled slightly. Nathan noticed, but kept going, his tone unwavering. When it was her turn, the officiant asked, "Amy, do you take this man?" But before she could speak, a loud voice cut through the stillness. "Don't do it, Amy!" Gasps erupted from the crowd. Heads turned. Amy froze. A man stood at the edge of the field. Dusty clothes, sun-beaten face, eyes wild with desperation. Jack moved instinctively, stepping forward to block him. "Who are you?" he demanded. The man raised his hands, not in surrender, but to reveal something. His wrist, a scar, a familiar scar. Amy's heart stopped. "No," she whispered. Lou reached for her. "Amy, what's going on?" Nathan turned and the color drained from his face. "Amy?" the stranger called again. "It's me. It's Ty." Gasps turned to chaos. Murmurs rippled through the guests like a wave. Amy stepped back, mouth open, unable to breathe. Her vision blurred as the world around her tilted. Jack looked between them, frozen in disbelief. "Ty's dead," someone whispered. But Amy knew. Her heart knew. That voice, that scar, the way he said her name. It was him. Nathan's jaw clenched. He stepped forward, putting himself between Ty and Amy. "Don't listen to him. He's lying." Ty's voice cracked. "Ask him about the cabin in Fort Mac. Ask him why he kept the letters I sent you. Ask him where he was the day I escaped." Amy's eyes widened. She turned to Nathan. "What is he talking about?" Nathan's calm facade cracked. "He's delusional, Amy. Dangerous. I tried to protect you." "You knew?" Amy whispered, stepping back. "You knew he was alive?" Nathan reached for her, but she pulled away. The journal tumbled from her dress and hit the grass with a soft thud. Lou picked it up and flipped through the pages. Her eyes widened in horror. "Amy," she whispered, This is real." Everything shifted in a single breath. Amy stepped toward Ty, tears falling freely now. The man she thought she had buried, the love she thought was lost, was alive, and had returned on the day she was about to say yes to someone else. Ty's voice softened. "I never left you by choice. They tried to break me, but I came back for you." Amy reached him. Slowly, carefully, she touched his face. It was worn, thinner, scarred, but it was him, the love of her life, alive. Behind them, Nathan was already backing away, rage in his eyes, his secret exposed, his plan undone. "You don't understand what you've done," he hissed. "You've ruined everything." Jack moved quickly, grabbing him by the arm. "Oh, I understand perfectly, and so will the police." As Nathan was dragged away, the guests stood in stunned silence. Amy turned to face them, her dress stained with tears and truth. The wedding was over. The ceremony had crumbled, but something far more powerful had taken its place. A reunion. A truth long buried. A love stronger than time. Amy stood with Ty, hands clasped, as the wind swept through Heartland. The whispers of fear were gone now, replaced by something deeper. Hope. Because the past hadn't ended. It had only been waiting for the right moment to return. And now, in the arms of the man she had always loved, Amy Fleming finally knew. This wasn't the end. It was a new beginning.